Yes, guys, welcome again to another episode of the WSXN podcast. As always, tell a friend, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as well, as I always said, a united Africa is an undisputed Africa. So, in this clip we're about to watch, it's South Africa at the UN Security Council telling them that they are going to bring Israel to the International Criminal Court, is the ICC. But take a listen to what she's saying, and then we'll discuss it after. Boom.
The killing of civilians in Palestine and Israel. The targeting of civilians in armed conflicts is in violation of international humanitarian law and Geneva Conventions. Mr. President, just as the attack by Hamas on civilians in Israel was abhorrent, there are no words to fully express South Africa's condemnation of Israel's bombing of the Ali Arab Baptist Hospital on the 17th October, killing well over 500 people and injuring over 1,000. The targeting of a hospital considered a safe haven under international humanitarian law is a war crime. Similarly, the killing of the people of Gaza by Israel in 12 days of aerial bombardment of hospitals, schools, apartment buildings, and essential infrastructure are also war crimes. The continual bombardment of civilian targets, the denial of the civilian population of Gaza of water, food, fuel, and electricity is prohibited under international humanitarian law and by Geneva Conventions. The bombing of Ali Arab Baptist Hospital in Gaza is the most blatant violation of international humanitarian law. Doctors are operating without anesthetics and do not have the medical equipment or supplies to treat the victims. The suffering of children and their parents are unspeakable and unfathomable in this day and age, and there must be consequences for these actions. Otherwise, the international structures established to maintain international peace and security have utterly failed. The Al-Akhi Baptist Hospital, which was bombed on Tuesday night, is one of the 22 hospitals in the northern Gaza, which were ordered by the Israeli military to evacuate their patients and staff within 24 hours or be responsible for the consequences. Hundreds of civilians were sheltering in the hospital when it was bombed, as it was supposed to have been a safe place to shelter. Under international humanitarian law and Geneva Conventions, Israel is committing war crimes and needs to be held responsible for its actions by the International Criminal Court and the international community as a whole. Mr. President, South Africa calls on the international community to end its indifference to the gross violation against the Palestinian people in Gaza, and for the UN Security Council to take enforcement action to halt the unfolding genocide. And we regret that the Security Council once again was not able to adopt a basic resolution on the humanitarian resolution in Palestine. South Africa calls for an immediate ceasefire and the immediate opening of a humanitarian corridor to allow in medicine, food, and supplies. South Africa calls on Israel to cease its genocidal campaign against the Palestinians. We call on the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Karim Ahmad Khan, to immediately signal his intent to investigate the Al-Akhi bombing and other war crimes and the crime of genocide in this conflict, and to include in his investigation the liability of those aiding and abetting these crimes.
So you see that video. That's the UN Security Council, and you hear what the South Africa representative is saying. All the crimes that being taking place in community currently in Palestine, where they attacking hospitals and residential homes and thing, and according to the numbers, they killed over 5,700 people, and so far more than 2,000 kids have died. And remember when, put this aside for a minute, remember when Russia attacked Ukraine, they didn't kill children like that. And even so, the whole world come and talk about human rights and this, and everybody condemn Russia. Now, Israel is doing even worse than what Russia did in Ukraine to the Palestinians. And you have to hear, everybody's quiet. Even Biden came on national TV and protecting Israel. Why? It seems as if you're an ally and you're in NATO, there's nothing you can do wrong when it comes on to war crimes and committing atrocious things to other countries. Because if any other country was doing anything as that what Israel is doing, the world would have heavily sanctioned in the country, and Israel hasn't received one sanction, not one what's the word? There hasn't really one complaint by the NATO, by NATO, even because they're part of NATO. Now the UN, the Human Rights Group. Everybody is mum when it comes down to Israel, except South Africa and a few African countries, and a few Arab countries. But anyway, this is very eye-opening to the world to show that America and the European Union and the NATO, they only sanction people who they're not friends with when it comes down to any kind of violation. But if it's a member, as I said earlier, they stay mum. No, nobody saying nothing except, let's see what happens when it goes to the ICC, if they're actually going to take it serious, or they're going to push it and they're going to find some way to make them not be accountable for these atrocities that's been taking place in Palestine. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section, if you agree with what South Africa is doing. Before I end, let me just say this one other thing. I'm sorry for the Palestinian and what's taking place in the Gaza, but this is one more thing I want to say. I'm tired of we, as black people, taking on other people's issues while when it's the other way around, no one comes to our aid, because the Arab world definitely do not like blacks. They are anti-black. They were some of the first to enslave black people, especially Africans. So I'm not too keen on getting involved in this because we too like to join other people's struggles and then leave our own, and then no one helps us while help everyone else. So that's the second piece I want to say. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. As always, tell a friend, like, comment, and share. Peace, one love. Boom.